There is a saying by Dolly Parton that goes, "It takes a lot of money to look this cheap." And that's a phrase I live my life by because yes, it fucking does. Not that I'm incredibly vain or anything, but if any of you guys are comparing yourselves to me and think I'm pretty or whatever, let me tell you something. None of this is real. Absolutely none of it. If you think I'm naturally pretty, then you are very wrong. For a start, the whole point of this video, this nose, completely fucking fake. This is plastic surgery. I wear a lot of makeup. This hair, I'm not even really ginger. You know, all of this is an illusion. It's an elaborate illusion. I've spent thousands and thousands on tattoos. I've completed my sleeves mostly now. So, there you go. None of it's real. Now, if you watch my video about my style timeline, you might know already that I've had a nose job because in that video, I inserted multiple pictures of myself as a teenager. And obviously, when I was under 18, I had my old nose. I got this done pretty much as soon as I turned 18. And here's the fucking story, I guess. So, plastic surgery wasn't really something I'd ever really thought about as a child. You know, not many children do. And I've always been a really vain motherfucker, always. Even when I had my giant old witch nose, I'll put lots of pictures up on the screen for reference because fucking hell, what was that? What actually was that nose? That I hate looking at these pictures and love it at the same time. Because what the fuck was that nose? But one day, I was about 13 and I went to a park with my friend and there were some teenage boys there who were making fun of me and my friend, you know, whatever. And when I got back home, I just mentioned to my parents in passing that, oh, my friend went to this park and these boys bullied us and he said I had a carrot nose. I remember that. I wasn't really offended by it. I don't know why, I just wasn't. I just kind of mentioned it in passing. And then my parents said to me, oh, when you're 18, you can get a nose job. And I just kind of agreed with them. You know, I've always been vain. And this was the age, I hadn't even really started thinking about the fact that I had a big nose. Like, I wasn't even really aware of it. I was kind of too young to be thinking about that kind of thing. But I kind of, you know, I was like 12. I kind of went along with it. I was like, yeah, okay. And that was the end of that. Then as I became a teenager, like, I don't know, 14 onwards, I actually started realising that I did in fact have a massive nose. I remember one distinct memory of me in science class, and we were all just kind of stood around, you know, listening to the teacher or whatever we were fucking doing. And I remember, because all the students were obviously looking to the front as same as I was, and I could see a lot of side profiles, and I kept looking at everyone's side profiles, and I was trying to find someone in my class that had a nose that was even remotely similar to mine, just to make myself feel a bit better about it. And I couldn't. You know, the problem I had with my nose, it wasn't even the horrible side profile, because what is that? It was the front. And obviously lots of pictures of these kind of things, but the front profile was what bothered me the most, because I could forget about the side profile if I just didn't look at it in the mirror. Yeah, how often do you go into the mirror and look at your profile? Like, not very often. What I saw more often was the front view, and it just looked weird from the front as well. That was what bothered me the most. It was the fact that the tip of my nose was very droopy. It was very much a hooked nose. It wasn't a teenage girl's nose, you know. It was like when I was about 13, it was like my nose grew out of fucking nowhere and the rest of my face got left behind. It wasn't a look. So we had money in savings. On my 18th birthday, or it might have been the day after, but 18th birthday, I phoned up NYA. If you're British, you might know NYA. They're the company that advertises boob jobs all the time, them. I called them up, booked a consultation, and the next weekend or whenever the consultation was, we just went into the NYA and booked it. We were told not to book it. Here's the thing. We had the consultation. They said, oh yeah, we can definitely do it. This is how much it'd be. But the lady said, wait over the weekend, you know, think about it. Don't make a rush decision. It's facial surgery, you know. Think about it. Look at the pictures of the other surgeries the doctor has done, and then we'll phone you back on Monday. And if you want to go ahead, you can do it over the phone. But me and my dad went and got lunch. We looked at the pictures and we came back an hour later and booked it anyway. This next bit, is the only bad part about this entire experience I had. NYA kind of fucked me over. So I had to get blood tests done. It was just standard blood tests, standard surgery things, whatever. You know, they took my blood. I went home, all was good. This was when I was in the middle of my A-level exams. And the way my A-level timetable worked was that I had just pretty much one exam a day, but I had one day that I had 2 exams on. On this day I had 2 exams. The second one was psychology, which was my worst subject. I almost failed psychology. I was terrible at it. But anyway, after lunch, it was psychology. So I come out of my first exam. Obviously, I didn't have my phone on me because it was an exam. I checked my phone, missed calls from MYA. So I go to the bathroom and phone MYA. And they tell me that my blood tests came back. They were completely out of range and I was like going to imminently die. And they said, your surgery's cancelled. Go to the fucking doctor, like right now. So me, it's a wild hypochondriac, absolutely shitting myself. And also my fucking surgery was cancelled. I had to do an exam in like an hour. So obviously I'm here sobbing down the phone to my parents. And luckily we managed to sort it out. I got on the phone to someone else and they said, sometimes this happens. Sometimes something just happens in the lab or happens on delivery or whatever, and the blood test comes back wrong. So you can come in tomorrow, because this is a Friday, so you can come in on Saturday and we'll give it another go. And that was exactly what we did. Turns out they fucked it up. We did a second blood test, completely normal. Everything was completely fine. They just fucked the results up. So I had to get special consideration for my psychology exam because, funnily enough, I wasn't in the right mindset to be taking a psychology exam, and I didn't even have time to eat lunch or study or anything. I just had to get off the phone straight into the exam. The actual surgery date, it was 2nd of July. I still remember it. It was the 2nd of July. And we had a very tight schedule because I did my last A-level exam one day, and the next day I went on a cruise for 2 weeks the next day, and then 2 days after I get back from that cruise I had my nose job. So it was a very packed schedule. Now here's the question that everyone asks me when I tell them I've had my nose done. Did it hurt? No, not once did it hurt. And they gave me like 3 levels of prescription like painkillers. I never even used any of them, to be perfectly honest. I wasn't in pain, I was just uncomfortable. The whole thing was a sensory nightmare, but it wasn't painful whatsoever. So what actually happened on the day is I went to the hospital. It was somewhere in Preston, whatever. I went to the hospital, I got changed. They make you check that you're not pregnant. And then you just kind of sit around waiting for the doctor to come in and get you. Then the surgeon came in and got me. They put me under, and that was that. I just kind of went to sleep and I woke up. But if you've ever had a surgery, you will know the best thing about coming out of that surgery is the food they give you afterwards, because obviously you can't eat beforehand. And I had it, what was it? I think it was like an egg sandwich or something. It was just like an egg sandwich, but it was like the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. It was so good. And then finally we got out of the hospital and we went to McDonald's at about midnight. It was late. Honestly, you know what I think the worst part about the entire thing was? They tell you to keep your compression socks on for a week. And oh my gosh, those fucking compression socks, sensory nightmare. Because not only were they tight, the bit that bothered me was the fact that like right at the sole of the ball of your foot, there was like a cut out hole, and I can't do it. They were awful. I had to wear them for a week straight and I only had 1 pair. It was horrible. And they tell you to sleep on your back, by the way, if you've had a no job. You can't wear glasses for 6 months. I just kind of never wore mine again, to be perfectly honest, but you can't wear glasses for 6 months. They make you sleep on your back for 6 weeks, and after like 3 days I gave up on sleeping on my back and nothing happened. Honestly, I just ignored that bit entirely and I lived, you know, nothing happened. I swelled up a lot, like my eyes swelled up and like this entire top part of my face swelled up. I was too focused on the fact that I looked like an Avatar character to even like think about the fact that I had a new nose under there, and because obviously it was all like under a splint and everything, you couldn't even really see anyway, so all I could see was the fact that my nose now turned upwards, and I still find that absolutely amazing. To this day, sometimes I just kind of do this and I feel the fact that it slopes. So in a week I got the cast off. You get the splints out first that they put up your nose, and it feels like they're pulling your brain out when you do that. That's fun. Then you get the cast off and you're very swollen for the first time it comes off, but I have pictures, which I will find, of like the first day after I got the splint off, and one, look at how swollen that is, but two, it was just so much better. I absolutely could not believe what he'd done, because when you go into the consultation with the surgeon, like before you even get to the surgery day, he kind of tells you what he's gonna do, and he said to me that he wasn't gonna give me like a button nose because it wouldn't suit me, and I was like, mate, as long as it's turned and it's not got a giant lump in it, I'm happy, you know. He just said he'd do what would suit my face. I was just expecting him, honestly, to give me just a normal straight nose. I wasn't expecting him to do this. This is far better than what I could have ever imagined. I was not expecting it to come out like this. Like, look at her, look at how cute she is. And no one believes this is a nose job either. Every time I tell people, they're like, no way. But something that my surgeon did, that I'm pretty sure not all surgeons would do, is afterwards, once I was coming round from the anaesthetic, he came back into the room to check on me, and when he just finished the surgery, he took a picture of my nose on like his phone or his digital camera or whatever, and he just showed me a picture of what he'd done, and he just showed me a picture of this, and I think the man's genius, honestly. Now the only downside to this is my sense of smell is a bit fucky nowadays. I didn't lose my sense of smell, it's just a bit, it's on and off, you know. Sometimes people are like, oh, can you not smell this like horrible smell? And I'm like, no, what smell? You know, sometimes it's very on and off with what I can smell, but I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. I'll leave you with this one final thing. When you go, if you go to NYA, there's a fun game that you can play. We always used to play this, sat in the waiting room. It's called Boobs or Nose, because that's all anyone goes to NYA for. Just go in and sit there waiting while you're waiting for your consultation and try and guess if someone's come in for a boob job or a nose job. Like, you know, it's normally one of the two. It's just a fun game. But anyway, yes, if you have any questions on any of this, let me know. It's great. I've had like a full CIA identity change at this point. I've got a different face. I've got a different name. I may as well be a different person at this point. I'm like unrecognisable to anyone that I went to school with, which is great. If anyone has any questions on any of this, let me know. If you're thinking about doing the same thing, let me know. I can answer pretty much anything. Subscribe, like, whatever. Bye.